This podcast contains discussions about sensitive topics, including mental health, alcohol and substance use, as well as suicide. It may also include strong language. The viewpoints expressed by guests do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the hosts. Listener discretion is advised. If you or someone you know needs support, please reach out to a trusted professional or a helpline. Welcome to Twist the Throttle, the podcast where we crank open the throttle on life's toughest rides. From mental health struggles to life on two wheels. We're here to have real, raw, unscripted conversations that break the stigma and help you navigate the road ahead. So grab your helmet, hit the road with us, and remember, it's still okay to pump the brakes. Together, we're shifting gears on mental health. Here's your hosts, Ambo and the Prez.
All right, welcome back, listeners, and for the first time, welcome viewers. We're branching out to do a bit of YouTube. Try and giving it a go. This week we've got a new guest, Hendo from the Guards of Valhalla. Thank you very much for coming along, Hendo.
Yeah, no worries, guys. Thanks for inviting me.
So, Brian, we bumped into you a little while back on one of your rides out to the Talbot Hospital, one of the Cards rides. You came up and said, "Oh, I've been listening to the show." I'm like, "Well, you have to come on then." So that's how we grow our audience, is getting people who actually listen to come on.
Yeah, no. As I said to you that day, it's been a really good to listen to. You guys are really good to.
Surprised, I've actually got a little bit of feedback as well. It's been good.
No, it has been good. Your range of guests have been great, and for what I do as a job, I'm on the road quite a lot.
Yep.
So I'll save 2 or 3 podcasts. Yep. I'll listen to them consecutively
on a big trip.
Yeah, and it's really good. Yeah, it's nice to be able to sit back, listen to your yak. It just feels like it sounds like you're sitting there. Yeah, in the car.
Yeah, that's good.
So, perfect. Yeah. We get that real raw thing across pretty well, I think.
Yeah, that's right. You're going well. So what do you ride, Hendo?
I've got a couple of bikes. I've got a 2017 Fat Boy S.
Oh, nice.
So that's everything that's on it's black.
Yeah,
cool.
So I don't like chrome. I've got a 2024 Ultra Limited.
Oh, nice.
Same thing. It's beard grey.
Beautiful.
Then everything else is black.
Yeah, no.
I'm not a shiny person.
You'll have to send some photos for Jeff.
Yeah.
And put them up on the podcast.
Yeah, no, we'll do that. Yeah. So I've been riding them for, I said the 2017 I bought it out.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So how long have you been riding?
Off and on since I was probably about 8 or 9.
Yeah, start on dirt bikes.
Started on little mini bike. Yep. Actually, I didn't have any bikes of my own up until probably in my 20s.
Yep.
It was mates' bikes, and where I grew up in Maryborough, a small town, there was a bloke out the back. He had 3 little Zipstar mini bikes. We lived with a back lane and a wood block beside us.
Oh, beautiful.
So you'd get out there and the dad would come along and he'd just start them all off.
And away you went.
It was a case of just throttle on and hope like how you didn't hit a woodcock.
So when you're riding out, do you cut loose or are you cruising with a purpose?
Most times I'm sort of just cruising with a purpose.
Yeah,
I'm probably with the boys that I ride with, there's a couple of guys there that really let go. I go so hard for so long, and then I just sit back and just give them a wave and tail catches at the stops.
Yeah, we have on our club runs, we have what we call the dickhead section. So nice formation, tight ride most of the time, but as soon as you get out, twisties, the boys are like I just pull to the side off you.
So how did you get your nickname, Hendo? Just Henderson?
Yeah, Hendo's been
a lot of thought in that one.
Yeah, no, it didn't sort of come along with anything else. It just was what it was, and that's not like some of the other boys. So I've always told them, find a ride name for me. I'm quite happy to change it. No, they call me Hendo.
If it sticks, it sticks. Yeah. We changed our Ambo from Sarge after meeting Vietnam vets. It felt a bit weird calling him Sarge in front of actual sergeants.
Well, I have to admit, the first time I run into Ambo was on one of the Raw Run, and you were Sarge.
Yeah.
And then someone was going, this podcast with President Ambo. I'm going,
who the fuck's Ambo?
Yeah, exactly. And they said, I said, the big bloke. Yeah, that's him. Yeah,
I'm Al Jefe on the jacket. Yeah, same thing. I've met a couple of the banditos and they're like, oh, what's that? I can't win.
I got mine on actually one of the dickhead runs. We were we'd been across the ferry from Sorrento to Queenscliff, jumped off and we were on the bit of a dickhead pace run, and all I seen these blue and red lights behind me. I was like, oh, fuck.
He disappeared. We all met at the pub. And we're like,
I wasn't stopping because I knew I was going to be fucked.
Did they get anyone? And we're like, who? He's like, cops. And we're like, there was no cops, mate. It was an ambulance.
I got away from it.
Yeah.
It was relentless. It wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
So you've been married for 35 years.
Yeah, mate.
That's
yeah.
a pretty commitment, isn't it?
Yeah, no, been with her since, I think I was 19 when I met her.
Oh, well.
Sort of
What's the secret, mate? Yes, dear.
yeah, just look at her and go, yep, no problems, easy done. Yeah.
Yes, dear.
But no, it's sort of a funny story because being in a small town, I didn't have to do the meet the parents.
Oh, yeah.
I knew her brother,
Yeah, nice.
and then I got to know her, and then as we were sort of getting along, we found out on some stories that my mother and her mother were real good friends
Oh, yeah.
growing up. And my old man come from Mildura to Maryborough with the railways.
Yep.
The first person he took out to a dance was my wife's mother before she met her father. And, just all mingled together. Yeah, no, so I've been married 35 years. I got 2 daughters, 3 grandkids.
Beautiful.
So,
Bit of a legacy.
Yeah, busy little family.
yeah.
So you left school at 15, you went and started working. Where'd you start working, bud?
I started working at a place called a Survey.
Yes. I do love a good survey chat.
Yes. And back in those days, it was Survey Chat because I was a
attendant.
pump monkey.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
you
they had
went
that
out
back
there.
in New Zealand when I was a bit younger, and then it stopped. That was good. They come and fill up your car and they'd wash your windows for you and stuff.
Wash your windows,
check your
do the
oil.
tires, Look, you got to meet a hell of a lot of people.
That's when it was called a service station.
Yeah, and that was great. And like even back then, my local doctor used to come down, and as you can hear at the moment, I've got a bit of a croaky voice. Well, if I was serving him fuel, he'd turn around, and he was of Asian descent, he'd go, "Oh, what's your pressure, Brian? I'll take your pressure. I'll be doing fuel, he'll be doing blood. Yeah, I'll write your script. 30, thank you.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
You're checking his tire pressure, he's checking the bloods.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, for sure.
What kind of memories do you have then?
Of back in those days?
Yeah.
Look, it was great. I was never much one for school.
Yeah.
I sort of didn't write this bit down in the part, but like through primary school, I got bullied a hell of a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I was always the bigger kid.
Yeah.
So he gets whacked or something like that as you're going past. Probably the hardest part of that for me was the fact that it was my cousin and his friends that were doing it.
Oh, really?
And stuff like that. And so I sort of went through all that in primary school and then into secondary school. And then when they gave me the option, I got a summer job and the bloke said, you got a choice, go back to school or start working full time. Went home to the parents and they said, what's up to you? I said, well, bang, let's get me to work and be myself, get out and
bullies are fucking assholes, mate. I don't really remember being bullied all much, but I remember getting given the ultimatum at 15, you leave or we're kicking you out.
Yeah.
And the old man said exactly the same thing. If you leave, you've got to have a job.
Yep.
Yeah, same. I got the same.
Yeah. Well, I
think I was 16 when I left. Yeah.
I was lucky I had the job. Yeah. So I'd done this summer one and they'd come up and that's mum and dad said, well, I wasn't bad at school.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't my thing. I like to get out and start working, start earning money, saving up for my first car and all that sort of stuff. So.
Beautiful.
So you moved to Ballarat about 30 years ago?
Yeah. I was 28 when I moved across to Ballarat.
And what keeps you there?
Oh, I love the place.
Yeah.
We've moved over. We've really cemented ourselves in.
It's pretty cold there, isn't it?
It is.
You find any gold?
Oh, gold?
Yeah.
No, I haven't found any yet. But there's plenty of it around. People that are still finding it. So
yeah, that's good. My parents moving to Coorong Vale, which is kind of like in the Golden Triangle.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a big fancy gold detector. He's going to go and try and find a big nugget.
Okay, he's going to try and do that.
Did you hear about the gold mine up there? They built the new gold mine up in Bendigo, I think it was, not Ballarat. And they $500 million to build this gold mine. And then they chased the gold vein and it went straight under the new factory. So to pull it down and build it again.
It's a bit like the old Ballarat gold mine. There's different owners all the time.
Yeah,
Someone has a different thing, or like only just recently they had a bit of a cave in and a few blokes trapped down underneath. They got them out. They were all okay, but and then there'll be a different new owner come in and all that sort of stuff. But
it's the same bloke, different company name.
Yeah, virtually.
Yeah, I wonder if they got paid out like those guys, Zazzy, Todd, and
that
was a good story. I remember that back in the day.
Boys,
Beaconsfield, there you go.
Yeah. Every day it was on the TV. Oh, how are they going now? So,
that's when the bloody Foo Fighters wrote him a song.
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh,
because one of the guys was saying like he loves to get some music down and get some Foo Fighters going. So Dave Grohl wrote him a song.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So you got off the bike there for a little while. You had a bit of a break with kids and whatnot. Yeah, what actually got you back onto the bikes?
Look, I always wanted them. It was more of a case of when we got off the bikes, it was, kids and money and all that sort of stuff. We needed to run a couple of cars, couldn't rate for the cars and the bikes at the same time. I've always Yeah, I've always been crazy about bikes.
Yeah.
So the wife just turned around as we got a bit older and the kids had grown up and moved out. She goes, well,
Time to get one again.
Get back on it.
we went down to Geelong for a day, and she goes, oh, while we're here, we might as well just go and have a look in at Peter Stevens at the time, and they had an old Shadow 750
nice.
secondhand.
Yeah.
And I had a look at it. She goes, what did you think of it? I said, oh, yeah, it's not too bad. Bloke said, you want to take it around the block?
Yeah.
She goes, up to you. I pulled back. She said, what did you think? I said, yeah, I had a smile on my face. She said, oh, that's yours.
Yeah.
So she just bought it for me to
Wow, that's
get
cool.
her back on it.
She jump on the bike with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, no, she hopped on that. She got on that one too about 6 months after, and she goes, no, we've got to get you something bigger.
Yeah.
For the two of us on here, we need something bigger, and along come the fat boy. So,
I love it.
yeah, no, she gets on the back with me at times, and yeah, it's good.
So how has the meaning of riding changed from when you were younger to now?
Look, back in the day, I probably ride a lot now for clarity.
Yep. The mindful side.
Look, if I'm...
Do you have many good twisty roads out your way?
Yeah, well, you're coming out of Ballarat, you're heading to Maryborough, Avoca. We've got...
Yeah.
And you're only not even an hour from the Otways.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
You're swinging yourself out. We've got probably the best of the both. We've got... For me, I got freeway real close if I want to just do straight riding.
Yeah.
And we've got some country roads, which are just like a nice country. Then others are just full of twisties.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and they're usually the ride. The twisties are the ones I like to do probably by myself.
Yeah.
Just
it's a bit harder in a group run.
Go out the coast, yeah. Whereas the other country ones with the boys, apart from the potholes and all that at the moment, it's...
So you guys are spread out all over the place, aren't you?
We are, yeah. We're, well, there's me in Ballarat, Munger or Rob, he's Maryborough or in Geelong.
Yeah,
got a few in Geelong, a few in Druin, here in Melbourne, Ararat, Wallona.
It's good.
So we're all just spread out.
I said to Wiggle when I met him, I said, if I'd have known the guards was a thing, I probably would have joined that and not started the rustling. Would have been something right up my alley.
Yeah, well, we were fairly fresh.
Yeah.
Back probably about when you guys were starting.
Yeah.
As well. Because myself and Rob and a couple of the other boys, we rode with a different club.
Yep.
Didn't like the way they were going. So myself, Rob, and two boys from New South Wales, we decided to investigate starting ourselves. So we looked into everything, designed all the bits and pieces, and then we called a meeting to all those that wanted to come up into Gingillic up in New South Wales.
Yeah.
And we had a virtual, this was it, where we were. It was a patch over and
beautiful
to where we are now. So
beautiful.
It's been real good.
Yeah, it's cool.
So what was the original vision of the guards?
Look, we were a family-based club.
Yep.
So we were family inclusive, just get out with like-minded people to ride.
Yeah.
Have a bit of fun. Get to meet people like yourselves.
Yeah.
If you guys have got something going on, jump on the back and give us a hand.
Yeah.
Do a few. We've done a couple of major charity things ourselves with the Change for Sam, which we did a couple of years ago, which got 5,500 or so we did.
Yep. And Talbot, you do a lot for the Talbot.
Talbot there. That took a couple of years because we've done a few barbecues at the Talbot, even though they're not related.
Yeah.
The Talbot market, we've done a few barbecues and then we did that ride. So, yeah, just stuff like that.
Yeah, beautiful.
No, it was a good turnout for that market too. It's a good idea to do that sort of thing. It attracts a lot of attention.
And Munga's got ties to the town hall.
He's now the president of the town hall association.
Yeah.
So that sort of helps in now. We're going to have the barbecue again in September.
Beautiful.
So we'll probably, at the moment, we'll raise funds and put it aside until we've worked out what we're going to
actually give it to
hook it to. So, yeah.
Beautiful.
But it is good and it gets everybody out. And because Talbot is near Maryborough where I grew up, I've got a lot of family and friends that come out. They said, one of them turned around to me and goes, 15 years ago, it was actually my mother.
Yeah.
15 years ago, if I walked into a place and I saw so many bikies, she said I'd have turned around and walked the other way.
Yeah.
She said, now I'm walking towards them.
Yeah.
She said, it's just me doing what I'm doing has just changed their outlook onto what it is.
We say it all the time. There are the shitheads out there.
Oh.
9 times out of 10.
A lot of them are good.
Nicest place to meet would be.
But the thing is, Jeff, there's a lot of shitheads in every...
Exactly right.
Everything. It doesn't matter whether they're wearing leathers or suits. There's
exactly right.
Still a lot of them. So
I'd trust a guy in leather before I'd trust a guy in a suit.
Yeah. Well, I've trained my grandkids up to be, if you get lost or you're in trouble, if you see someone on a bike,
Yep, we've said that before on the podcast, yeah.
go straight to them. Yeah.
I'd look after a kid if a kid come up to me and said, I'm lost, can you help me find my mum or dad? I'll drop everything, whatever I was doing to help them. Yeah.
Yeah, without a worry.
So, yeah, going on to your daughter, you got 2 daughters and 2 daughters?
Yep, 2 daughters.
Yeah, and the whole grandkids now, do they all look at you as like cool granddad biker?
Yes. Well, I've got, for the oldest daughter's got the 3 kids. So there's 12, 7 and 2.
Yep.
The 12-year-olds, once a month, we do a sausage roll run.
Yep.
So he comes out with me on the bike. We head off to somewhere, wherever it is.
I'm going to tell you to go to Heathcote.
I'll have to try that.
Fuck the bakery in Heathcote, mate.
Right.
Next level. And they've got the homemade sauce.
Well, Heathcote, I'll have to mark it down,
Where we stopped in the Northern Hamilton.
Yeah, that was fucking next level. I had to go back for more sauce.
Well, we do that. Yeah, we do it try to do it once a month. So we call it a sausage roll run.
Perfect.
The granddaughter wants to get on.
Yeah.
But she's only 7, so we got to wait.
It's
9 now.
I think it's not just 9, though. It's something
9 and
like,
certain
at
size.
certain height. You
have to reach the peak.
Well, she's virtually the height.
Yeah.
She's just got to get the years.
Yeah.
And the little 2-year-old, he just walks out the shed and he just points to me and points to the bike.
Kill him.
And I have to sit him on the bike.
Yeah.
And he points to the front and I have to sit on with him.
Yeah.
So, and then every now and then he'll get off and he'll come around and point to me, sits on my knee and looks at the handlebar.
Yeah.
Go on, rev it
Gotta
up.
fire it up. Thanks, Umps. And he'll just sit there.
That's good.
He's like, he's trained you.
They all go
Yeah.
up, they all go up too fast.
Definitely. Yeah.
So you're into martial arts as well, mate. So you were 3rd Dan black belt.
Yes. Yeah, I did that for just over 12 years.
Yeah, that's full on, mate. So
Yeah.
don't mess with you.
Yeah. Got stuck into the whole thing. Sort of funny. Another funny story. I got the daughters. We took them into it too, just for a bit of, I don't know, what would you call it? Just so they could look after themselves. A bit of self-defense.
Yeah.
And one of the daughters was on the floor and she was the only one at that class.
Yeah.
And she was a bit dubious. So the lady that was instructing said, look, do you want to hop on with her?
Yeah.
So I hopped on with her just to start doing it. Okay. 12 years later, I'm bloody.
So you're instructing as well. That's awesome.
I used to instruct 3 kids classes every every week.
Yeah.
So that was just sort of for the.
So how much of a crossover between leading the bike club and being in martial arts discipline? Is there much crossover in your mind for that stuff? Yeah,
there is. Yeah, good martial arts kids listen to you.
Yeah.
Bike club people don't. Yeah, no, look, it's sort of in the martial arts side of things with instructing, because I was instructing kids, their minds were so fresh.
Yeah.
So they were just listening to anything. And if they didn't listen to you for too long, you told them to get into a push-up position and walked away.
Yeah.
Whereas with the bikes, look, most of the guys we've got, they're all good, but we're all adults. We've all had different things in life. We've all got different ideas. So at times it doesn't quite gel.
Yeah.
So you've just got to sort of work onto that.
That's how to actually sort through it.
And it does teach you that discipline and accountability as well. Yeah. It really does. And to get my young fella into it. He does a lot of boxing though, but I
boxed when I was a kid, and it's that drive to do it.
Yeah.
It's a contact sport. So
but look, you can see it too, because we had a couple of kids and there was one young fella that was my youngest daughter's age, and he had no confidence.
Yeah.
He was just, he'd walk into the club and his head was down.
Mm-hmm.
By the time we got into a purple belt, which was 3/4 of the way through, he'd come waltzing in, he'd be head up, smiling, he'd be waving, talking.
Different kid altogether.
Completely different. And his mother just turned around and said, whatever you lot are doing here, please keep doing it.
Yeah, that's great.
Because it just changed him.
Yeah.
And he had it in him. It was just, he was just a kid that was so withdrawn. So it was great. And that's the thing that I used to like. I'd sit back at every grading and just smile.
Yeah.
Because they get such a glee out of, all it was a white belt with another piece of colour on it. But they were just so happy because they were going along. Yeah, it was great.
Third Dan black belt, does that mean you had to go overseas for that?
No, that was done here.
Okay.
I was done with a mob through Zenshin, was who I did it with. So I used to have to go to Geelong to train.
Yep.
So what you did with your second and third Dans is you'd go in on a Saturday morning, train for you'd grade for 2-3 hours behind closed doors where people couldn't see some of the stuff you were doing.
Yep.
Then you'd go from there to the main area where everybody else was doing their first Dans.
Yeah.
You'd do some more demonstration stuff, and then you'd have 40, 90-second fights.
Yep.
All against black belts. And that's how you finished yourself off.
Yeah.
And then the last fight, the 40th fight, was to the Eye of the Tiger song. I still have cold sweats when I hear that. So then that was where you hooked it on through. But like the morning sessions, when I did my third down, I was the only adult. So the morning session, it was me against everybody else. And then when it come to fight in the afternoon, it was me against all the big boys. Yeah. And
Do you still have a bit to do with that now?
No, that's actually folded down now at the moment. So I still do a lot
at home
of the stuff myself at home. My whole family, my wife and my 2 daughters, they're all black belts.
So you mentioned struggling with a bit of anxiety and depression, mild depression. When did you first realise that something wasn't quite right?
Probably about 2 years after I moved to Ballarat. I was working at a small little printing place. The reason I'd gone to Ballarat was to work at this place because I'm a qualified printer by trade. And I was going to do one part of a job and another fellow was supposed to do the other. When we started working, he turned around and said, no, he wanted me to do the whole printing, the whole shot. And the fellow that owned it was a graphic designer and he had old machinery. Wanted virtually trying to make a bloody silk purse out of a sow's ear. Just couldn't do it. So I was getting to the stage where I take everything to heart. I don't like to fail. So I started to get worried. I wasn't eating. I was smoking at the time. I was smoking a pack of cigarettes a day, drinking half a bottle a night, driving to work every morning, dry reaching. And that sort of got into me into the...
that's not a good feeling.
No, I turned around to the wife and said, I'm sorry, but I think it's...
you don't want to disappoint anybody as well, you feel like you're a fucking failure.
Well, the reason we moved to Ballarat was because of that job. So I'd moved the wife and the eldest daughter then over. She was only 2 and I just said, look, I can't. I can't. Much to her credit, she said, no, just get out.
Do it, find something else.
Because so I, got out and sort of settled it down. I get sort of slight bouts of it now, but that and the anxiety, I still get anxiety quite a bit.
So what helped you get through those moments? Was it writing or
just sort of writing and music? Just sitting back and listening to music.
The power of music is amazing.
Because I come from the age of shush. You don't tell nobody nothing. You don't talk. You don't talk about it. Like back when I come up through it, you didn't speak to someone about your problems or anything like that. You just...
Well, we're hopefully changing that mentality.
Well, it has really changed.
It has changed a lot.
Which I reckon is absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely.
Did martial arts play a role in managing your mental health, even before you fully understood what you were battling?
That come on just a little bit after, and I reckon it did help me a lot. Because it just helped center me. Because I was sort of flailing a bit, sort of trying in between bits and pieces of where I was working and all that. Not only just the actual doing it itself, but the club itself, it's probably like a bike club. Because you're all doing something similar. You can talk to each other about that similar thing. So you mightn't be talking about the fact that I'm feeling like I want to just go and jump out the window.
Exactly.
But, we're talking about something else and they'll be going, oh yeah, this works well. So that's the one thing I did find with it,
It changes that mentality.
Completely.
I've been in sports clubs my whole life, and when I left playing baseball, I played baseball for 25 years. When I stopped playing baseball, I missed that being part of a team. Like I didn't miss how much the game hurt to play, but I missed, sitting on the bench and having chats with the boys and all the rest of it. That's pretty much when I started the club.
And it's like that though, because you can go in with one headset. And once you've started talking to them, you come out and you go,
I didn't think.
Didn't think about that one little word.
Didn't cross my mind.
No, that does help.
How has being part of a club, a tribe, really helped keep your mental health in check?
Good. Look, it does help. It's sort of, I don't know how to explain. Well, I know for a fact that I got blokes. And ladies and girls. There that if I needed, it's only a phone call.
24/7.
And it's either a phone conversation or it's where they're...
As in the leading role in that club. Get a lot of guys coming to you.
You get a few talking to us, but most of the boys are pretty... a lot of them go to Rob. Probably more so as into the president side of thing. They'll come in, but you'll have your few that'll come for you for a talk. And we've always said to them, look, if you've got an issue, it's just a simple case of send us a message. Even if you don't want to talk, just send us a message and let us know what's going on.
Off the top of your head, what would be one of the services you would point them to? What would be the first one that comes to mind?
Off the top of my head would be Lifeline.
Lifeline.
Ever used that service yourself?
I haven't. I had my youngest daughter, her best friend, put himself into a concrete pylon on the Western Highway.
Oh,
He was only 21, and it was only only the first pylon past the exit to my house.
wow.
And it messed her up real big.
Yeah.
It messed us up a fair bit,
Yeah.
but it messed her up a fair bit, and we had to sort of seek a little bit of
Professional.
just for help for her, just to sort of get her through. It's still hard to today.
Yeah, every time I drive past it, you fucking...
Oh, yeah. And you often think about the young fella. I think he was only about 21 or something at the time. And you just think, mate, if you'd have only... And look...
Taking the exit. And,
we've all been there. Look, I don't say that to a lot of people, but I've looked at sharp bends and big trees.
Yeah.
At different stages at times when you've come up when you're younger, and you just think something's enough for me.
Everything gets heavy.
Mm.
We got a good mate of ours going through a breakup at the moment that's not doing too well, that we've keep it like.
Key point is we've all been through it,
Yeah.
you know, and it's being able to talk about it.
It's hard to see through it when you're at the bottom.
Yeah.
And it's good if you've got someone, as you said, even someone doesn't have to be a big conversation. It's just even a message, like a meme or some stupid thing.
Yeah, I've got a guy I'm meeting, one of my mates, on Saturday. Both his parents have just passed away.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard conversation to have. He's in a not a very nice place at the moment.
No.
But
Yeah. No, that'd be bloody hard.
yeah.
And as I said, with a few of us, excuse me, with Rob and Junior, we spend more time sending each other stupid, mate.
Yeah.
But at least you know each other's going okay.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Stuff like that. So
yeah, my phone doesn't stop.
yeah.
That's good. So let's talk about mates. So what signs do you personally look for in boys when they something might be a bit off?
The thing is, you can tell though, Ambo, like I know with the club, most of the guys, you know what they're like.
Yeah. And you can tell when
You can tell when something's off.
Yeah.
It's the same thing I'm the same with family and work colleagues and stuff.
Yeah.
You know when someone's off. I'm not one to turn around and jump straight at it.
Yeah.
But how you going?
Bit of a,
Yeah.
He picks me all the time.
Yeah.
He'll say, "Oh, no, come on, mate. What's wrong?"
And it's exactly, and it can only be something small, and you get to know someone really well.
Yeah.
It's only got to be a head bow or an eye look, and it's just a simple case of okay, mate, what's happening?
Yeah.
How you doing? Simple fact.
The guy who normally laughs at every joke when he's not laughing, you're like, well, what's going on?
Somebody's not right.
He's not here.
Well, that's where the family know when I'm having a bad day.
Yeah.
Because I'm the guy that hangs shit on everybody. And if I'm not having a good day, I'm the quiet guy in the corner.
Yeah.
Not saying anything. So.
All right. Guards of Valhalla, the origin stories. And you help find the Guards of Valhalla.
Yep.
Found,
yep.
Do you want to read it?
Jumped in the middle.
No, that's all right. What was the seed that got it all started?
Yeah, I think as I sort of said a little bit before, myself and Rob, we rode with another club.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I met Rob originally from. He was already there. I sort of come in and he was my sponsor.
Yep.
I got to full patch with these guys. They started to head down a line that we
didn't want to.
No, we weren't happy with. It wasn't what we were wanting to do.
Yeah.
So there was me and him. There's a couple of blokes, Bull and Pom, up in New South Wales. We got together and thought.
So the guards in both states?
We've got 2 guys left in New South Wales. The rest of them have all sort of moved on. We've got Rocket and Coffee. Rocket. Coffee's in Wagga and Rocket's just in Albury.
Yep.
But the 4 of us, we sort of formed it together. Then we had our weekend away, got together, just played it out there and just of what was going on.
Yeah.
This is what we wanted to do. Gave everyone the option.
Yep.
No twisted arms or that.
Yep.
If you want to, you can. If you don't want to,
fine.
That'll be it.
Yep.
The majority of them come across. Well, actually, all of them did.
Yep.
So, with where we sort of founded ourselves from, I think we've been going for about 4 or 5 years now.
Yep.
So, and we're about 18 strong.
Yep.
It's good.
And a mix of both.
Yeah.
Because where we were was all boys.
Yeah.
Where we just said, no. So we've got a mix of both, boys and girls. And I reckon that's the best way of doing it.
Well, we include the girls as well because they're part of the family.
Yeah.
We're family orientated.
Yep.
We're all there for one another.
And that's what we wanted. We wanted them to be exactly the same and have them riding.
I
riding together.
do love dropping the line every time there's an issue, saying like, "This is why guys don't have girls."
Sometimes. So what gap did you see in the scene that made you think we need to build something different?
I think it was just the case of because of where it was going for where we were, there wasn't a lot of
So were you a social club or MC before?
we were a social club.
Social, yeah.
So, yeah, we were a social club that acted like an MC.
Okay, yeah.
So, the way they were trying to run it was more like an MC than a SMC.
Yeah.
But we didn't have the patch we had a back patch and all that sort of stuff, but the way it was designed, I got pulled up by the Banditos one day.
Yeah.
What's this?
Yeah.
Because it was sort of a little bit dicey.
Getting toe on the
yeah, so we hooked onto that. But this one was just more of where we are now, it's just more of what was sold to me when I first joined the other club.
What it's meant to be like.
Yeah, family, friends. I wanted something where I was happy to take my grandson along on a ride.
Yeah.
There I wouldn't have. Now I will.
Yeah.
Not a problem at all.
So if someone wanted to join the Guards, what's the patching process look like?
Yeah, we have a form for you to fill out.
Yeah.
So we can do a bit of a background check. Come and ride along with us.
Yeah.
You'll go for so long with so many rides, do some bits and pieces. Then if they get to a stage, we'll have someone nominate them to be a nom or a prospect.
Yeah.
So they'll do the prospect for 9 months to 12 months, depending on their time frame and how many rides and all that sort of stuff. And then it becomes a vote, club vote to bring them up as a full member.
100% vote or? Yeah.
We virtually get
same.
Pretty similar to what we do.
And if it's not, it's a righto.
I hear.
Why?
Yeah.
Yep. Same. Pretty much exactly the same.
Yeah. So if you're not,
ours is a 12-month process, and you get a vote at 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. So if it's 6 months, you got half the club. Well, why?
Well, we sort of probably look at it the same as maybe the officers, myself and a couple of the others. And we might turn around and go, in 6 months' time, I haven't seen such and such.
Yeah.
Maybe we better have a talk to them to say,
check in.
Want to?
Yeah.
Are you still interested?
Yeah.
Or not?
Yeah.
We've had a couple that have come on and they've wanted to become prospects. They've done 2 rides and it's the last we've seen them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you just go, righto. Okay. I don't expect everyone to be. I'm not at every ride.
Yeah.
I can't. I've got other commitments.
Yeah.
As we said, that's part of being a social club, a family club. So.
Yeah.
So the name Valhalla says a lot. What does it represent for you and your brothers?
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Valhalla.
Yeah, Valhalla. And that's why we're the guards of. Now, Faith patches the 2 wolves sitting on the tree of life.
Yeah.
And that's where it sort of comes from us. We're sort of into that aspect.
I love it. Yeah.
We like a bit of Norse. A few of the boys are right into the Norse mythology.
So is Jeff.
Yeah. Big fan. Yeah. I've got a Norwegian background, so a bit of a...
Yeah, no, we just really, and the traditions when you listen and read and research some of that stuff, it pays right.
My big thing that told me, like I've never really liked organized religion, and I read the Asatru. They have a church in Norway, and their thing is like, we don't believe that there's a guy with a big hammer that can make lightning. He goes, it's a lesson for children. Like they goes, all these stories were how to get kids to, understand it, like work hard, be polite, like how to look after your fellow man. Like it's all the stories are about
respect women,
being a good person.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we don't actually think there was an 8-legged horse running into the sky. Like that's not how this works. It's like, but you guys, if you stand under the northern light, you tell me you don't believe in magic.
Good point.
We always carry on saying, oh yeah. If you get a storm on and we'll 2 on, Thor's up there giving us a bit of a hiding.
So how would you describe the club culture that which sets the Guards apart from everybody else?
Well, I suppose we're a fairly close knit club.
Yeah.
We probably just into our aspect. Like I've been on rides with you guys, been on rides with the Silverbacks, and yous are all close knit.
Yeah.
To yourself, not just to yourselves, but.
Yeah,
sort of mingles in.
We all have the same vision.
Yeah. And I probably see it is into that aspect.
Yeah.
We are a fairly close all the boys are willing and girls are willing to help when it comes to it. But it's not only willing to help us, it's to jump in with.
Yeah.
So what kind of people do you look for when it comes to patch members?
Someone that's, well, I don't want someone that's going to come into the club and think they're a 1%er for a start off.
Yeah.
Bossing people around and trying to change things.
Yeah.
And
It's, you come into the club and you be,
puffing their chest out and shit.
yeah, you be what the club is.
Yeah.
I don't care what you did beforehand.
Yeah.
You could have rode with whoever, I don't care. You come into the Guards of Valhalla, you're coming as a plainskin.
Yeah.
You've got to earn your respect or our respect to get in. And the same aspect, same thing as if you come in and you disrespect our codes and our values, it's not hard for the club to do what they have to do.
This isn't,
And that's the same thing. We do it. And it's as a club, you've got to sit down then as a club and work it all out.
Yeah.
Find out whether they are the right fit for your club.
so as the VP, how do you lead? Are you the quiet guide or are you a fire starter or
No,
rock
I'm
steady?
quiet.
Yeah.
Quiet one.
The observer.
I leave it for the Prez.
Manga.
Yeah, I leave it for the Prez. He gets out. He gets out there.
Did you step up into that presidential role while Bunga was off with all his surgeries?
Yeah.
Recently? Yeah.
It's just sort of a case. We often joke and carry on and we say, he's the Prez, I'm the VP. We're one.
Yeah.
We run everything off each other because of both being the founders. I always stir him up saying he took the president's role because, I'm too busy. That's why I gave him that bit. So, we virtually.
The monarch,
No, the amount of work that he puts into the club is synonymous.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to put that sort of work in. Not only that, Rob's been in the biking community for so much longer than what I have.
Yeah.
He knows so many people and so much stuff, and he's helped guide us.
Yeah.
Really well.
Good bloke to me.
Yeah.
And
we just cut all that out?
And where do you see yourselves in 10 years' time?
Probably doing the same thing that we're doing now.
Yeah.
But maybe
bringing in the younger generation and teaching them how to do it as well.
Bringing the stuff up. We haven't got a set limit, but we've sort of virtually said that we wouldn't want to get much bigger than about 40 members, 40 to 50 at the most.
Yeah, we've said ours at 50.
Yeah, because any more than 50 is just absolutely.
You're going to lose what
it's a headache. Difficult to manage for 25 to 30.
Yeah.
Imagine what 50 is going to be like.
And that's exactly right. And there's just so many different personalities and stuff like that.
It's very hard to get 30 people in a room and have them all pushing in the same direction.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing I've found with the club. Everyone's passionate. Everyone wants the best for the club, but everyone's got a different idea of what that should be.
Yeah. Yes. No, we do.
Yeah.
We do find that. You'll be sitting down, then you'll be just going, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So what is it about riding culture that brings people together in a way few other things can?
Oh, look, I reckon it's everyone that rides, you're very similar to each other in your own little way. You might be a bit different in the style of the way you ride. I've been on rides. I've seen you ride. I'm not looking at Ambo. But I know the way you ride, and you ride well, you ride hard. And I just reckon you sort of all linked in. I don't begrudge anyone. It's the way they ride. I like to sit back and learn from someone.
Yeah.
I'm probably about a front half rider.
Yeah.
Because I like to sit there and watch the boys up the front.
Yeah.
Just to see how they're, what they're doing.
Yeah. I couldn't lead the rides. I like where I sit, actually, to be honest, right behind you. I'm happy there. I like being at the back when we're going through the twisties and you can watch them all going up the hill and stuff at the back. And how magical is that?
Oh, yeah.
Special.
It's just,
in all honesty, I hate being at the front.
No.
Yeah. I'm a good rider. I wasn't on my last bike, which made me lose a lot of confidence. That bloody thing I had killed me. But
well, myself and Rob, at the start there, both of us used to do a lot of the leading stuff. I like to get mid-pack, sit back. But you're saying about sitting there at the back and watching this club that we used to ride with. We did a run up to New South Wales, and it was up to Kulak. Pub.
Yeah.
There was a thing to do with the Stone movie and all that.
Yeah.
And we went up the Hugh Highway, and where I was sitting, you were sitting in the left-hand lane, staggered as far as the eye could see in front of you was just bikes. And on the other lane, as far as the eye could see, were hay trucks because I was doing a big hay run at this time. The freeway was just full of bikes and geez, it looked awesome.
It would have looked great.
I would have loved to have been able to have a drone up.
Yeah.
Do you remember a specific ride, maybe solos, maybe with the boys that really stuck with you? That ride, you just said it.
Well,
that was it.
That ride has really stuck with me with those guys. But and I think probably one of the for me was probably on the old Shadow, first ride down to Geelong with the wife on the back.
Yeah, definitely.
It's the first time. My wife, I love her to death, but you put her in a car or anything and she's a control freak.
Yeah.
Yeah, if she's in the passenger seat, she's slamming the brakes on. Here she is sitting on the back of the bike, not even hanging on, looking around everywhere going, how fast is this? That to me, that'll never leave me.
Yeah.
Was that one trip down to Geelong.
Perfect. I love that.
What's the balance for you between freedom and responsibility when you're part of the club?
Probably, I like to say probably about a 50-50, to be honest. I like to have me a bit of freedom, but I'm also trying to keep an eye on what's going on, be there to help.
Yeah, one of our mottos with our club is we don't want to be, club first type of club. That's the 1% stuff. Yeah. But I said, family, work, the club should be in the conversation.
Yeah. Well, that's it. And as we said, we're a family-based club, so family's always first. We don't expect everyone to be at everything. We all have, we've got a meeting this Saturday down in Gippsland. Half of us will probably drive.
Yeah.
It's just a meeting down and back.
Yeah.
If you can, you can. If you can't.
Do you have monthlies?
Every 2 months, yeah.
Yeah,
2 months, yeah.
We try and do it every 2 months, and I think there's about 3 or 4 that we try to make mandatory. That'll be the AGM and all that. And they'll also be, if we can make them mandatory, they'll be overnighters.
Yeah, beautiful.
So
gotta love overnight ride.
I
don't know if they get it messy like ours.
Well, when you get up on one ride and you get up on Sunday morning to head back and you sit there and you go, no.
Probably a couple of hours.
I'm trying to rein in how messy our overnights get at the moment.
We've probably settled a bit of ours back with a few of us, especially a couple of us.
Comes with age as well.
Couple of us older guys. You party on Saturday and you get better on Thursday.
Yeah, you get a bit older. I still struggle a little bit. It's half the reason why I don't drink. I don't like waking up next morning.
I'm probably similar to yourself. And, cut off the smokes and the drinks.
I've been sober at 3.5.
Yeah,
3.5 years now.
You need another line on your arm, on your hand.
To the tattoo.
Yeah,
I found this non-alcoholic gin.
Yeah,
and I was like, this is great. It tasted amazing. Felt like I was having a drink. I woke up next morning with a hangover. I'm like, this is bullshit.
That's not that.
I haven't had a hangover for years, and I was like, I didn't even get the fun part of it. It's got the shit on the end.
So, how do you build trust, or how do you build and maintain trust in a brotherhood like this? What's the code?
To me, is honesty.
Yeah,
that's the main thing. To be honest, don't bullshit to a brother or a sister.
And be open.
Just tell them as it is. If you can't tell the truth, don't tell them anything.
Scenario. Remember, I had something on and somebody sent me a picture and said, my son's had an accident.
Yeah.
And then the next couple of weeks later, he sent you the same photo and said the same fucking story.
Yeah.
Look, you can't make it. You can't make it.
And that was the funny thing about it. It wasn't like it was important or anything, and I don't know why you needed to lie.
Yeah.
So that to me is the biggest thing to build trust is honesty.
Yeah.
You've got to be straight out and just say it. And,
that's our thing as well. They'll come out in the woodwork. They'll show their true colours. They might.
The best thing about my ADHD is I don't lie because I can't remember. Like, what did I tell that guy? Like, no, it would have been the truth. Shit ass memory.
So if you could sit down across from your 15-year-old self, just knocking off a shift at the servo, what would you tell him?
Probably back then I'd just say, mate, keep going the way it's going. It's all going to work out okay.
What's the wife's brother's name?
Brett.
Yeah, hang out with Brett more.
Yeah. Just get on to him. I need to get onto him a little bit quicker. But yeah, no, look, I just say to him, it's, you're going to have some rough times ahead, but just head up, keep moving,
keep going.
and keep going.
You'll be right.
Something. Yeah.
You'll be right.
Yeah.
So you got a legacy now, your kids, your grandkids, the club and the name.
Yep.
What do you want your grandkids and club brothers to say about you when they talk about Hendo?
Yeah, good bloke. Yeah, that's all. Just a good bloke, and the grandkids are good umps.
Yeah.
You see on my bikes, they're Reggio's umps. That's what my grandkids call me.
Yeah.
Umps.
Umps. My youngest, the eldest grandchild, I was going to be Gramps after my grandfather who passed away. He couldn't say gr.
So
he went umps, and it ended up with umps.
Done. That'll work.
That'll do.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'll have that. So yeah, that's what they call me. He being on the sausage roll run now, he's already got dibs on the fat boy.
Yeah, nice.
So he said, "That's mine, isn't it?" And I said, "Yeah, not for a long time." So he's already saving. He's already halfway saved for a
Love that.
Street 500. He's
Nice.
Get yourself that Frizzell plates.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So 16th birthday. What's the L's?
16 and 9, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
No, 18.
I think it's 18 now on a bike.
18 now,
18.
is it? I don't know.
Send them to New
Always swaps
Zealand.
and changes.
Send them to New Zealand.
That's what I'm doing with my kids. I'm sending them to New Zealand at 16. You can get it over there at 16. They
Okay. And come back.
come back here and put on a
One thing we discussed, I think you and I discussed it the other week off the show, was in America, it's like 16 you can drive, 21 you can drink.
Yeah.
In Australia, it's like, here's your keys, here's a beer.
Yeah, it's so
18. Like,
you get your license to drive the bottle shop.
Yeah, that's it. Like,
it's silly, isn't it?
Bit of a weird way of doing it. Like, at least over there, you technically you got 5 years of driving experience before you're going to try and do a couple of beers in your system.
Yeah, it's just it doesn't.
Which is silly.
Sense.
You don't need to drink and drive. I'm against drinking and driving completely.
No, I agree with you onto that one.
Mind you, I've made my mistakes as well.
Yeah.
We're not all perfect, but no, I'm against it. So do you guys have any upcoming events?
No, excuse me. After the ride that we had,
Talbot ride, yeah.
We've decided to take a
hiatus,
12-month, just sit back and have a bit of a relax. I think a few of the boys within the club are organising some different bits and pieces there.
Yeah.
We've got our barbecue. As I said, we'll do the barbecue in September.
Yep.
The money we raised, we'll sit it aside until we work onto something. But as I said to the boys, it's just... everyone was just so tired, because what people don't understand is it's not just a case of setting a date.
No, there's
and getting everybody.
Definitely is. That's why we have a whole ride committee. Do you guys have a committee as well for events?
Yeah, it's virtually us.
Yeah,
the club and the officers and all that are virtually the committee.
We have a set charity committee.
Yep.
And the amount of work they did for our breast cancer awareness ride was phenomenal.
Well, they're currently working on a new one.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
Don't know, but
I don't think we're
can't talk about it yet.
Yeah. Well, we got like Wiggle, Ratchet.
Yeah.
So Ratchet, she's our events coordinator.
Yeah.
Wiggle does a power load of work with the secretary side of things, and then we've got others that'll. Everyone will sort of try and jump in where they can, give it a bit of a hand, but it just I often laugh. I just think people just don't understand how much work we put in.
Yeah.
And as you know, to a ride.
Well, we've got
to do this.
Our secretary and our events coordinator is the same person, which will hopefully be changing soon.
Yeah, we ended up with, we had to get the 2 because it was just way too much.
Yeah.
Too much work on them.
Yeah, but we're hoping that splitting that up will make life a lot easier for
it's all
for each people.
Help.
Yes. Yeah.
Just finding the right person for the job, I think, was the problem at the AGM last year. So hopefully somebody puts their hand up this year.
And that's the thing, though. You'll have someone along the line and all of a sudden someone will start doing something. You'll go, oi.
Yeah.
You're good at that.
You'd be good at that.
Yeah.
So you bring it up to him at a meeting. I reckon you'd be good at
That's how our treasurer landed in his job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you do it like this? Like, why don't you do it like this?
So where can folks find Guards of Valhalla information on them? Find you on Facebook?
Yeah, we're on Facebook. We're on website.
Yep. Got a website as well,
yeah. But Facebook, we have a request policy.
Yep.
Yep.
So we're not just open to everyone.
Yep.
You've got a request, and then it's got to come through to a group of us to okay.
Yep.
So we'll do a bit of a background check again. If you've got a locked profile,
pretty much no. Yeah.
You don't come in because we need to know.
Yeah, who you are,
who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
That's a good philosophy. Mm.
Yeah, well, you just don't know. Like nowadays, you don't know who's out, who's doing what. So
Yeah.
it just keeps a bit of an idea.
It's crap.
Yeah.
And finally, we ask every guest this question: what does Twist the Throttle mean to you, mate?
Freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom. Just get out there and just go. If I'm having a bad time, as I said, I've had a bit of shit through this year with the family, with different things. Just throw the leg over and have a ride.
Cool. Twist that throttle.
Yeah, exactly right. Twist that throttle and just keep on going.
Is there anything you thought we would discuss that wasn't discussed tonight?
No, I think you've covered everything.
Yeah.
Everything and
couple of things twice.
Yeah. No, that's all.
We'll get there. We'll figure out how to do this part so that he can ask some questions as well. I'm asking all the questions. I suck at asking questions.
I did have all the questions ready to go, and now on the camera. This is the first show that we've actually got a sponsor. We have Barber's Choice on board with a
beard oils.
Yeah, beard oil, Barber's Choice Beard Oil Company. They've given us a code for any listeners or viewers that want to have, nice luscious beards.
Like us.
Yeah. Get on the Barber's Choice website and type in Throttle20. So Throttle20.
Throttle20, 20% off.
20% off.
That's pretty good.
They're looking after us. So
that's good.
Thanks to them. Thanks to you, Hendo, for making the time to come down here.
Thank you, mate. Bit of a drive.
Thanks for the late start that we ended up with there.
All good.
I'm crazy cleaning the house, making sure it looked nice.
Fumbling around with the technology and shit. Hopefully this works out all right, and we'll send you through a link once it's ready to go.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks for riding with us today on Twist the Throttle. If you enjoyed the ride, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your crew. Remember, no matter how tough the road gets, you're never riding alone. Stay safe, stay open, and catch you on the next ride. Keep that throttle twisted.